Chapter 4 Gales of Song. It was a warm day in the Great Valley, yet it seemed bleak as ever for Ruby. She sat and recalled memories of days gone by, thinking it happened only a bright cycle ago. Everything was different. She was older, living in the secret caverns with her aging parents. They came to the valley shortly after Chomper left, her brothers leaving once they were old enough to find mates and have families of their own. Thus, Ruby remained within the valley, seeing her friends grow bigger than herself, finding it hard to believe so much time passed. In fact, it wasn't just their bodies that grew, for love blossomed between a certain few. Littlefoot and Sarah became leaders of sorts, once the adults stepped down from keeping order. When a certain herd of Spiketail came to stay, Tippy and Spike enjoyed their days, eating, sleeping in their own little spot, content with the simple things the valley had to offer. Why, even Petrie and Ducky were a couple. Petrie's nest, perched atop a rock by Ducky's favorite swimming spot. No one batted an eye, excepting the leaf-eater pairing and same-gender mates known to be a place of forward thinking. In some areas, of course. In truth, none would ever accept the meat-eater and leaf-eater pairing, guessing the carnivore would devour the herbivore. By a pond, Ducky rose from the water, shaking and finding the gang coming to talk as they did every so often. "Petrie, our friends are coming to visit us. They are. Stepping out of the cool water, she stood and waited for them to get in hearing range before she spoke. "So, anyone notice how quiet Ruby is?" Poking his head up, Petrie looked to the group. "Yeah, Ruby no sing like used to. In fact, Petrie don't even remember last time Ruby hum." Spike gave a concerned grunt, to which Tippy spoke for his mate. "Hate to say this, but what's the problem? Ruby always seemed happy to me." "Well, Tippy, Ruby isn't herself. Around this time she gets awfully quiet and seems low in spirit. You see, some time ago a friend of ours left and hasn't been back since. No. "Okay, quick fix. We go out, find this friend, and bring them back. It's as easy as that." "Think again, Tippy. This friend is a Sharptooth," Sarah declared, gaining a shocked look from him. "It's not like a stroll to fetch food. We're talking about the mysterious beyond." "You mean the friendly Sharptooth boy? Oh, what's his name?" "Oh, we no mention name no more," Petrie said quickly, looking around to make sure Ruby wasn't coming. "Simply say, you know who." Eyes rolling, Sarah gave a snort. "Which is ridiculous and childish. Why can't we say his name?" "Come on, Sarah. You know how much it hurts to lose those you care for. Yep. In fact, we all know loss. Petrie's dad, my father, Littlefoot's mother, your mother and siblings." All right. You make a point. But how can we help her?" "I fear there's really nothing we can do except support her and let her know she's not alone." Littlefoot spoke coolly before lighting up. "Hey, I know. Let's throw Ruby a giving ceremony like we did when we were kids. You remember, for her star day?" Yes. Great idea, Littlefoot." "We make up nice area, bring Ruby, and cheer her up." "Right, let's get to work." The six set off, gathering grains and even sweet bubbles. Petrie and Ducky located a nice spot to make pretty. Sarah, Spike, and Tippy brought back tree stars, Littlefoot finding the sweet bubbles. With the food piled in a nice circle, Petrie went to get Ducky. Flying over the herd of several species, Petrie tried to find her among the many. Wings flapping, he peered from left to right, keeping a sharp eye out for her. Ruby was sitting by her thinking place, going over why Chomper left without a single word. Wiping a tear from her eye, she rose to check in with her friends. Along the rocks she went, climbing down and seeing several couples and families. Usually, the sight would be considered heartwarming, but it reminded her of how alone she was. No mate, no eggs, feeling bleak to say the least, given it was close to the day he left. "Hey, Ruby," came a voice from behind her. Ruby turned and wondered who it was, seeing Hip emerge from the brush. "Hip, why aren't you with those idiots you hang out with?" "Come on, you can't still be angry with me. I mean, that was a while ago, in the past." "Maybe for you it is, but it's not for me." Ruby gave him a cool look, walking on. "Hey, wait up. You fast runners sure move." He moved quickly to match her pace. "Fast is in our names," Ruby retorted, trekking on ahead. Look, I'm sorry. I apologized many times. There was a desperation in his voice, clearly longing for her to accept his words of sorrow. How long will it take for you to let go, to forgive me? There will never be a time where I could forget or even forgive you, Hip. Ruby stopped short, seeing him go a few steps ahead, having to back up to face her. You have absolutely no idea how it affected me. Me personally. None. If you're lonely, I could help you out. He went to try and take her hand, only for her to step out of his reach. Let me comfort you. Be there for you. If given the chance, I think we'd get along. After all, no one should be alone. I like being alone, thank you very much, Ruby said while it was a lie. There is a reason I'm alone, for I choose to be. You don't want to wind up like an old spinster, right? You aren't getting any younger, and I don't see a bunch of guys knocking in your cave to be with you. It was clear Hip wasn't much of a smooth talker, though he tried his hardest. Is there some way I can be there for you? Prove my worth to you? That's when Ruby got an idea. All right, you want to show me you can keep up with me? How about this? If you can beat me to that tree on the hill, then maybe I'll give you a chance. If I win, you leave me be. All right, I can agree to that. Taking their places, Nod and Mutt watched from the side, showing up in perfect time. It was clear Hip had eyes for Ruby, telling the pair he'd be with her one way or another. Ruby yelled for them to go, letting him go ahead of her, teasing him, letting him think he stood a chance. Then, at the last possible minute, she moved like the wind and passed him, going on and on, leaving him in the dust. Huffing, he leaned on a tree, eye flinching in anger. She tricked me. Hip, are you okay? If I weren't hunched over like this, do you think I'd be all right, stupid? Hip shouted at Mutt. So, now what? You going to give up? Nod wondered, knowing Hip had been after Ruby for quite some time. If she thinks this is over, it's not, Hip stated, watching her with a cool gaze. Why not go for your own kind, or at least a girl who wants you, Mutt said, seeing a few ladies look their way, many to get a glimpse of Hip, who'd grown into quite the fine adult. Because the ones that run are the more rewarding to catch. With a frown, he turned and led the pair away. Across the meadow, Ruby managed to leave him in the dirt. When she felt safe, she glanced back and saw Hip fade from view, going to see what the gang were up to. They were gathered in a group, probably the only mixed-match cluster to be found in the valley. From above, a shadow fell over her, Petrie flying beside her. Ruby! Petrie, glad me find you. Friends want to see you. How wonderful! I'm eager to see them too. Coming upon the group, they all parted to show off a collection of food. Surprise! They called. Happy giving ceremony, Ruby. A giving ceremony? For me? Oh, how kind of you all. Ruby placed a hand to her heart. What's the especial occasion? It's not my star day for a while to come. Nothing. We just wanted to let you know how much we care. Littlefoot arched his great neck, wishing he could simply look eye level as he did when he was a kid. Hope you like what we brought you. Sarah watched Ruby approach the food. Yes, yes, yes. We got your favorite things. You sure did. She scanned it, and when her eyes found a collection of round purple things, she felt a lump in her throat. Sweet Bubbles! Yeah, we know you like most of all, Petrie said, unaware her tone was soft and slightly sad. Wanting to change the subject, Sarah was quick to ask, So, Hip come around to bug you today? Yes, but I dealt with him and sent him on his way. I say you let me go a round or two with him. After that, he won't dare bother you again. There's no doubt that wouldn't work. Seriously, though, if Hip is a problem, Ruby, let us know. Littlefoot added with concern. After all, it's not right for someone to pursue you, especially after you told him no repeatedly. Agreed. We're here for you, Ruby, Tippy said. Both Spike and I could act as bodyguards, right, Spike? Spike gave an approving nod to Tippy's statement. There's no way he'd want to try and push our big bodies around. How even kinder of you. But I'll be fine, really. Too bad you don't have someone to scare him off, Ducky said without thinking, only to clamp her hands to her bill. What I mean is that Hip needs to leave you be. He does. All threw Ducky a glare, noticing awkward silence hung in the air for a brief moment. Ruby put on a brave face, not wanting her friends to pity her. Thank you again, everyone. They talked of old adventures, trying not to mention you-know-who in the process, which was hard given he was there through most of the stories. Still, with a good deal of tactfulness, on Littlefoot's end mostly, they managed to steer clear of a certain someone. By late afternoon, all went with their respectable partners and parted ways. That left Ruby, alone, heading for the secret caverns. Every day she found herself going to a certain place, thinking and trying to keep it together. She was happy to see her friends were well. Then there was she, single, for reasons she herself hadn't quite come to terms with. All she knew was she missed him, found herself standing where he once slept, running her hand over the cool rock. It was silly, but she rarely mentioned his name, finding it hard to believe they were no longer together. I wonder if you think about me the way I think about you, she spoke aloud, humming and taking a breath before she sang, only to herself, in the cave where none could hear. Gales of song, guide me through the storm. On the wings of a small, simple melody, words take flight and soar, they carry me. A world we'll see, looking for a farewell, I pull the threads. A life without you I cannot accept, I can't tell that lie. I can't let go, but now that you're gone, I have to move on. Seems like everyone just smiles staring at the sun, but what about me? Tell me, how will I know where I should go? Oh, gales, you sing and guide me. I walk alone, there's more to life I have to know. It's just me, lost so far away from home. Alone I shut myself in, still the winds howl they call, and their voices lead me. Gales of song, guide me through the storm. Let the melody lift me high, I'll be me. Gales of song, please stay by my side. Winds of love, breathe life into me. Leaving the cave, she climbed the rock, standing on the wall and looking over the great valley, seeing her friends, happy, not alone like she was. Wind blew against her face, removing a tear that ran down her cheek. While a paradise, at times it felt like a prison. Her friends, parents, all she could ever need was there. Yet there was a space in her heart, an ache that could never be filled. She told herself over time it would get better. Yet with each season cycle, it never did and felt bigger, leaving her with a sense of great loss.